So, hey, I'm Stefan from Synergy. I'm the owner and founder of Synergy, and I design our products. And I used to be a professional athlete. And today we are creating the new Team Synergy, which is a professional team and age group team to support the best triathletes and exterior off-road triathletes in the country and in the world, really. And for that, we've chosen Josiah Middaugh, who is the most accomplished exterior athlete that I know of. He was the 2015 world champion. He has won so many numerous national titles. And I think, are we talking hundreds of other triathlons during your entire career? And so I don't think there's a person that's more suited for this task of guiding the next generation of professionals through a pro team that will be funded by Synergy and a bunch of our new partners that we're going to be bringing on board. So Josiah, tell me a little bit about, I think my first question is going to be, what does it feel like having your ass handed to you by your son Porter recently?
Oh, well, it's becoming a more regular occurrence, but I'm not accepting it.
Good. Because you and I have a deal that you're not going to retire for real until, another 10 years.
That's right. Right. No,
I love it.
It's been good. I could take it. It's a win-win for me.
Right? It underscores your genes and your coaching abilities.
That's right. I'll take it.
Yeah.
No, I'm really excited about working with Synergy, and thanks for believing in me, and looking forward to see what we can do with this new team.
Yeah. No, it's super exciting. Josiah, do you want to tell our viewers a little bit about your background from the backwoods of Michigan and how chopping woods in the forest kind of made you into the character you are today?
Sure. I don't know how far back to go, but I had a pretty backwoods upbringing. Lived on a commune in northern Michigan for a little while, and my parents still live there, and kind of grew up in the woods, just building tree forts and running around in the trees, and that's kind of what we did for fun. So not much structure there.
Fort egg, really, right?
Yeah, but just living off the land and eating well and spending a lot of time outside.
Yeah, and you became quite the runner then, right?
Yeah, running was kind of my main focus. Definitely a late bloomer, though. I was not a superstar right off the bat. It took me a while to get going, went through some growing pains, and I really kind of credit that to my longevity in the career, just that I didn't have that instant success. So I think that was pretty important for me to stay motivated and kind of finally attain my long-term goals.
Yeah. Also, even today, do you feel you've actually lost a lot of speed, or do you feel like it's just the next generation's even more specialized? Because I see all those KOMs coming through, on a weekly basis, and I'm like, it's not like you're getting any slower.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel that. Like, I don't feel slow. I feel like I still have, quite a bit left in me, and the numbers are still fairly close to where I was. But you are right. This next generation of athletes, they're highly driven, highly motivated, and they're really well coached. And so it's cool to see what these young guys are doing. It's almost like there's a big generation gap, right? Where you got some of the old timers like me, the late 30s, early 40s, and then you've got this new generation of athletes that is just kind of coming on the scene in every discipline. And it's not just triathlon, but it's all endurance sports. I see. I don't know for sure what it is.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. I think back in my own career and how I at one point kind of plateaued, and I thought that's probably all I can do. And, on the world ranking, I wasn't that far off at that point. And I thought, this is probably as good as it's ever going to get. And now looking back and knowing what science is telling us today, it turned out we were way overtraining, or I was at least. And had I known what I know today, I would have trained. It would have been so much more enjoyable and fun, and I would have been far better. And it's kind of a little bit bittersweet knowing that you really do need expert advice, and you can't just do it on your own. You shouldn't try and reinvent the wheel, right?
Exactly. What I really like too is that, there's no magic bullet. There's not any, really deep secrets. There's not like one silver bullet that's going to get you to the top, but it's just applying these basic principles and keeping after it. Like you said, you're, at the pinnacle of the sport, what you thought was your pinnacle of the sport. And, that's really hard to know. And who knows what would have happened, with 5 more years in the sport.
Yeah, and training, I mean, for me, I could see had I been doing more zone 2 and not pushing into zone 3 and 4, which kind of seemed to be the intuitive way to train, more like you'd be racing.
Mm-hmm.
But it turned out that was completely wrong. Too much intensity, too little base. Yeah.
Yeah, can't go back.
No. But what have you been up to since you became a Hall of Famer recently?
Well, I've really struggled with retiring. That's the first thing I'll say. But so that was just as we're starting to come out of the pandemic, and my main passion, Xterra, was definitely struggling in the U.S. And so pro racing kind of took a year hiatus over this past year. So I was kind of at a loss with what to do with myself. So I did a lot of fun events. I did some gravel races, some Spartan races, but I did make it back and did the Xterra World Championship in Italy. And that was a lot of fun. I got shellacked by my son Sullivan in the national championship in Beaver Creek, which is so funny because I didn't really see it coming. I should have. On paper he was faster than me, but I'm like, it's going to be a little too long for him. He's not going to have the endurance. He's going to fall apart.
You believed in dad power.
I know.
I know it well.
So he took it to me.
Yeah, but you took him back since, right?
I beat him at the World Championship.
Yeah.
But I think he had a little bit of an off day. He crashed really hard twice early in the first mile of the race. So I think that kind of shook him up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's what the sport is. I think it's fitness. It's, years of consistent training, but it's also experience, that race experience. And what's cool about Xterra racing all over the world is that you see every type of environment. And so, he, up to that point, he had raced in one environment, which is altitude, which is challenging. But he needs other experiences. Yeah.
So you've been a Synergy athlete for many years already. Do you have a favorite Synergy product?
Well, definitely the wetsuit. I mean, the hybrid wetsuit has been just invaluable to me. And as you know, Stefan, swimming is not my strength in the sport of triathlon. So, and it's always been a challenge for me. And for that reason, I mean, my gear is more important than the elite swimmer. And so that really makes a difference for me. So that's definitely been my go-to. And it's allowed me to, really be, at the competitive part of that field in my weakest event, as long as I have a wetsuit on.
Right. I remember us hand sewing you one for a race. And I think just told us you had your best swim in that. And it was made with love, believe me.
Oh, absolutely. Well, hold on. I just grabbed it out of the closet.
You still have that Frankenstein with you?
Yeah. Well, it's inside out here, so you can see.
Yeah. Hand
sewn. That went into it here.
My staff's little children, with little tiny hands.
Yeah.
We had our trial paper force going. I tell you,
a lot of blisters and bloody fingers into that one.
Yeah. Oh, I can tell you, the whole team was on fire when they heard how good a swim you had off that race. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was great. And so that, helped go into the design of the current suit. And so that was a game changer.
Yes. I mean, we basically, because it's the same story for me. I was also a poor swimmer, and that's how I even got started with wetsuits to begin with. I couldn't afford a wetsuit when I was a kid. My parents couldn't afford it. So I made my own, and I made them really, really buoyant. So they were very thick in the early years, and then very thin arms that were very flexible. And it got me through. And when we met, I knew that it was going to get you through too, because you needed that hybrid wetsuit or flagship wetsuit to get that last bit out of your swim so you wouldn't lose too much before you got on the bike, because you crushed it on the bike and run. And it was just that one little thing holding you back then. But you worked hard at it too.
Yeah, it's a constant battle. That's the challenge of the adult onset swimmer.
Yeah, that's
a lot
right.
of us can relate to.
Exactly. So now that we're going in with this big commitment for a professional team, what is your vision for this team?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to create just a bigger community. And what I would like to see is, the Synergy team span across all disciplines of triathlon. So road triathlon, long course triathlon, draft legal, non-drafting, off-road, and just kind of bring us all together, have a lot of camaraderie at the events. And then obviously, represent Synergy and everything that they stand for. It's actually, I had it pulled up here. I don't know if it was your words, Stefan, or Sayuri's, but I like the core principles of teamwork, excellence, and innovation.
Right.
So I think that's a good motto, and that's kind of what we're trying to represent.
Right. Because for Synergy, the brand, we're wanting to support and give back to the sport, and especially to the age group athlete, the weekend warrior, and the professional that is basically committing their lives to our sport. And we also want to benefit from the feedback we get in refining our products and making them even more high performance. And we just gotten to that point where it's all these little marginal gains that make the big difference in the end. And so from the brand perspective, this is what we're hoping to get from it.
Yeah, and that's what I've always liked about Synergy, kind of performance as a big focus. And I like that they're very innovative and really nimble too, where you can, nothing's really off the table. And, that comes into play with our custom kits too, and, making it personalized, having our names on the kits. And it's been a really good company for me to work with.
I remember when you won the world championships and you needed a world champion jersey for, I think it was some other race, and we turned it around in 12 hours. It was amazing.
Yeah. Costa Rica and sublimated. Yeah.
With your world champion stripes. Yeah. Yeah. That was fun. Well, this has been awesome, Josiah. I just want to see, what do you think for Porter, your youngest son? I kind of, hold out. I was the youngest in my family, and I kind of hold out for Porter. I don't know if Laursen is going to come in and make an entry, but I have a feeling Porter is going to want to get a piece of the action from this big club.
Yeah, I think Larsen's the real dark horse, but Porter, he's already established himself as one of the best runners in Colorado right now. He's a junior in high school, and I don't want to impose my dreams or expectations on him. So he may gravitate towards triathlon like his brother, or he may go into the running route. So we'll see. I think he's got tons of talent, tons of potential, and he's working hard. He started getting up and swimming with me at 6 a.m. and going to school and going to basketball practice, and so he's kind of doing it all right now. So we'll see where he ends up.
Basketball on top of all that.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough for him. These 2, 3, 4 hour practices for basketball, and then waking up. He'll come home from a game at 11 o'clock at night, and then he'll come to the pool with me at 6 a.m. So that's pretty cool to see that.
Well, just wait till he gets a girlfriend.
That's all over, right?
So I do have one more thing for you. It's I think it's known that your wife Ingrid, is a huge support, and I, recognize that you can't do that. You can't do what you did and have that kind of career on your own without that type of love and support. And it's a very big undertaking to be a professional athlete, and it's a lot of laundry involved. Not that she's doing it all, but
Hey, I'm trying to pull my weight here, but no, she's amazing, and just having the understanding, right, that this is what makes me tick. This is my lifestyle, and it could be worse. Right? I could have a different habit. I could be gambling or staying at the bars or something. So no,
let's always keep that as the alternative. Either support me here or I'll be at the bar.
But no, it's been really great. But she will be the first to tell you that, when we talk about my kids, somebody will say, oh, they must get that from their dad. And she'll say, well, hold on. She said, I was the one, she says she was the one on athletic scholarship. I was on academic scholarship. So, her any early success is coming from her.
Yeah. And you guys met in college, right?
We did. Yeah. We were both runners in college at Central Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, you got to give us our very best. I mean, we love you both and what you guys have done with your family and everything. And we just can't wait to see what the next chapter is going to be.
Thanks so much, Stefan. And excited to work with this team and see where we go.
Same here. Thanks, Josiah.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.